Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our third straight game here at the Burial Grounds. My name is Josh Burnett, alongside me is Simon Culp. Tonight, we've got a big rivalry game with the Lake Central Indians taking on the Crown Point Bulldogs. LC coming off a huge win against Portage last week, where they were down 13-0, then won 30-21, backed by exceptional running from Sir Felix Garcia, who ran for 3 touchdowns that game. Crown Point coming off a heartbreaking loss against Merrillville in overtime. Simon, what does Lake Central have to do to get their second straight win tonight?
Well, I think, as you said, Sir Felix Garcia with the 3 touchdowns. I think if we just keep feeding Sir Felix Garcia and just keep with the running game that was doing so well last game, then the Indians can take this game against Crown Point.
Now, both teams are averaging around 22 points per game on the season, which is really important for this Indians team, as their first home game here, they lost 20-0 against Hammond Morton. They put up 37 against Munster and then 30 against Portage. We've seen this LC team, they get into rhythms. If one aspect of the offense is doing good, all the offense is doing good. Simon, tell us more about those rhythms.
Well, I think that a lot of the games so far, we've been coming out a little slow, averaging about, no points in the first quarter, and about 10.5 points in the second quarter so far this season. So I think if we really come out swinging and get into a rhythm right away, then we can take this game.
Well, Simon, on that note, we've got a few announcements to get to, but we'll be right back after that.
What's up, Lake Central? I'm Yusuf Namari.
I'm Riley Nestricht.
And I'm Mia Martinez.
And we're your social media editors.
We manage 4 accounts for the high school: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook.
We cover things such as sporting events, pep rallies, clubs, and concerts.
Make sure to follow us on all our accounts. And we'll see you around, LC.
Beginning tonight, Friday, September 13th, and running through Saturday, September 21st, numerous high schools throughout the state are demonstrating why safety in athletics begins with having an athletic trainer. According to a study conducted by the American Academy of Pediatrics, the presence of athletic trainers in the secondary schools lowers overall injury rates, improves diagnosis and return to play decisions, and reduces the risk for recurrent injuries. Joining Lake Central High School Athletic Director Chris Enyer and Crown Point High School Assistant Athletic Director Matt McCaleb at midfield are Lake Central athletic trainers Chris Hall and Taylor Shoemake, and Crown Point athletic trainers Dan Merrill and Jamie Pierce. On a daily basis, the athletic training staffs for Lake Central and Crown Point play a vital part in keeping all student athletes healthy and safe. As part of the safety and sports campaign, high school teams all across Indiana this week will be donning a small helmet sticker on the back of each player's helmet. The sticker represents the cumulative efforts of these schools and the Indiana Athletic Trainers Association toward improving the overall safety of all sports in Indiana. For more information on how you can keep your athletes safe, visit the Indiana Athletic Trainers Association website at www.iata-usa.org. And tonight's game is being broadcast by the Region Sports Network on the internet at regionsports.com and facebook.com/regionsports. Fans can go to the site after the game to listen to or watch an on-demand replay of the broadcast. In addition, this evening's Lake Central Indians versus Crown Point Bulldogs football game at Lake Central High School is being broadcast live on internet radio at usa-365.com, a service of Meyer Multimedia Services in Crown Point. And later this weekend, a free downloadable MP3 audio download of tonight's game will be available on www.usa-365.com, the internet website serving Northwest Indiana high school sports. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to beautiful Lake Central High School for a Dukeland Athletic Conference rivalry game between the Crown Point Bulldogs and your Lake Central Indians. We'd like to welcome our guests this evening from Crown Point High School. Crown Point enters this game with a record of 1-2 and 0-1 in the DAC on the season. Head coach of the Bulldogs in his 8th season at Crown Point is Kevin Enright. The athletic director of Crown Point High School is Bill DeRula, and the principal is Russ Marcinek. The superintendent of the Crown Point Community School Corporation is Dr. Teresa Einman. Your Lake Central Indians on this game with a record of 2-1 and 1-0 in the DAC. Head coach of the Indians now in his 3rd season is Tony Bartolomeo. The athletic director of Lake Central High School is Chris Enyard, and the principal is Sean Begley. The superintendent of the Lake Central School Corporation is Dr. Larry Baracco. As members of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, tonight's teams believe in the philosophy of good sportsmanship. Profanity, degrading remarks, and intimidating actions directed at officials or competitors will not be tolerated and may be grounds for removal from tonight's contest. As a result, Lake Central High School encourages all players, coaches, officials, and spectators to show good sportsmanship this evening, and we thank you for your support of high school athletics. Fans, in addition, please remember that Lake Central High School is a tobacco-free campus. Violators will be asked to leave the premises. Help us keep Lake Central healthy by adhering to this policy. Thank you. Fans, Lake Central administration would like to remind everyone to stay out of the areas marked in Fans, earlier this week, Calumet New Tech High School experienced a tragic accident as Calumet freshman football player Curtis Walton passed away. At this time, Lake Central High School would like to invite everyone to join us in a moment of silence for Curtis Walton and the Calumet community. Thank you. At this time, we would ask that everyone please remain standing, and gentlemen, kindly remove your caps as we honor America and those who have served and are currently serving to protect its freedom with the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Lake Central Tribe of Pride under the direction of Lake Central Director of Bands, Elliot Smith.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Josh Burnett. Alongside me is Simon Culp. Thank you to the Lake Central Marching Band for the national anthem, and also the moment of silence for the Gary football player who unfortunately passed this week. But Simon, we've got football. Lake Central coming off of, like we said in the pregame, huge win, comeback win. And it's our third straight week here, and, it would be a huge confidence boost for this team to win 2 out of their 3 home games and improve to 3-1 on the season. What do you think LC's got to do today?
I think that LC really has to just stick with that running game with Sir Felix Garcia and even Creasebaum pitching in last game, and really just inch by inch just gaining those yards and finally bringing it to the end zone.
Now, we've been at LC for a while, and this is a huge rivalry game. And, one of the number one things us LC fans say to Munster fans who are, us as seniors, not you, but we always hold it over their heads that we're 4-0 against them. Crown Point is 3-0 against us in my high school time here. So, for me, it's being, my senior year, I'd love to see Lake Central get a W. And we've got a pretty fairly sized Crown Point fan section here. Looks like they're going with a red out. And doesn't seem like it's a match for the Lake Central fan section, though.
I don't think so, as the Lake Central fan section is going with the USA theme, and I don't think that red out's going to do very much out here.
Yeah, we know Lake Central, they feed off this fan section. When the fans are in it, this team is in it. And, vice versa. The fans are going to cheer more if the team's in it more. So it's a symbiotic relationship for this team and the fans. As both teams at the center of the field for the coin toss. That's captains Zach Ritt, Zach Rangel, Sir Felix Garcia, and, of course, quarterback Mateo Sedano. And Crown Point takes the field first as they have their receiving unit out there. Or no, apologies, they bring their kicking unit out. Now these two teams, like we said, Lake Central and Crown Point, huge rivals. You look at their jerseys and they're even opposite. Lake Central's got the blue with the white stripes on it. Look at Crown Point's jerseys. It's the white with the red stripes. It's almost polar opposites. And we've got the Lake Central fan section already getting amped up here. As Crown Point gets ready to kick it off. Little squib kick there. So that's fielded by Max Kreisbaum. Kreisbaum gets up to the 39-yard line. That's some great starting field position there for Lake Central. Not sure if Crown Point meant for the squib or if they meant for the if they had meant for the onside kick, but either way, not really beneficial for Crown Point.
Definitely not, and I really hope to see that. I hope that Lake Central can really start it off strong and get some momentum going from the start. Maybe starting off with a run or even a play action here.
As Lake Central looks to be coming out in the pistol formation. We've got Diego Garcia at the bottom of your screen. Curtis Gills up top, isolated. Jackson Sarbieski in motion. Handoff to Sir Felix Garcia. Garcia's got a hole and picks up nice chunk of change there. Looks like he's going to get to about the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 4 here for Lake Central. Now, as mentioned in our pregame show, Lake Central does not get off to the best starts in these games. We haven't scored in the first quarter this season. But that doesn't really seem to affect this team, They can, keep it close with their opponents and then even use that, the scores that they give up in the first quarter or the lack of offense in the first quarter, use that as motivation, and they come out hungrier in the game as Sedano gets leveled there. And the Lake Central Indians take an issue with that. That was number 6 for Crown Point. Bodie Barant on the hit there as Sedano's O-lineman went over. Told Barant, what? Watch what you're doing to my quarterback out there.
But I do like to see that. It looks like the tension is very high, even at the beginning of this game here.
As Lake Central sticking in the pistol formation as the Let's Go LC chants break out. Sarbieski in motion. Sedano going to drop back to pass. Looking, Sarbieski off his fingertips and incomplete. That's going to be 4th down. 4th down and 4 here. Out comes Lake Central's punting unit. So not the start you would like to have if you were LC. Let's see. Maybe LC could go for it. Sedano, he does double as a punter, as we've seen them use, but it keeps the defense on their toes. As Sedano will boot this one away. Nice sailing kick there. Went up high, did not go the distance, however. And let's see where they mark it, and they're going to mark this one at the 36-yard line. That's great field position there for Crown Point. It's that one, it's football weather out, Simon. We've got kind of a windy day. Could have been taken by the wind. That ball just looked like a floater.
Definitely. And it looked like the Lake Central offense here, they looked a little rushed with only a minute and a half going by in those 4 plays that they got in.
Yeah, I mean, you want to keep the defense on their toes, get the defense worn out. Best way to do that is, quick plays, and that seemed to be LC's strategy, but it not really seemed to pay off as flags come flying in. Looked like that was number 62 for Lake Central, Brandon Ozist, on the encroachment penalty there. And that's going to give Crown Point and a quick, easy extra 5 yards, moving them to the 41. First down and 5 here.
And that can be a big momentum killer if LC was looking to gain momentum here, as they just get a quick couple yards in for free.
As the Crown Point Bulldogs come out in the shotgun handoff there. And Walters, the nice chunk of change there, number 24 for Crown Point.
Very nice chunk of change there.
Now, Simon, what do the Indians have to do here? I know I ask you this all the time. What do they got to do to make the stop on defense?
I think to make this stop on defense, they definitely have to watch the run game, which seems like Crown Point is just going to try and nail down at the start of this game, because I think that if you get the run game going for any team in high school football, it can be a really big deal.
And it's another handoff there, number 24. Walters fighting and drag down there. Looks like about a gain of 4. Second down and 6 coming up. As Crown Point already over the 50-yard line into Indians territory here. As Lake Central looks like they're getting ready to stack the box here. Looks like they got 3 men up top, and everyone else is in the box there trying to stop Walters. As Walters again, it's a nice carry. He's going to be close to a first down. Depends where they mark it. And that one's a 3rd down and 1. Now, like you said, Simon, the run game's huge in high school football, and Crown Point's definitely showing us this here today.
And I think even if they don't pick it up here on this 3rd and 1, that they can even still go for it on the 4th.
Yeah, it's definitely 4 down territory, as it's a jet sweep play there. And that's a first down for Crown Point. That was a toss there from Dylan Clemens, the quarterback.
Looks like Crown Point is really coming out headstrong and just showing off that wide playbook of theirs.
Yeah, having an array of run plays is always a good thing, especially in high school football where you don't have, the Tom Bradys and the Andrew Lucks throwing. As we've got Crown Point coming out in the shotgun yet again. Walters got a lot of room to work with, finally dragged down by Caleb Griffin, but again, that's a huge gain there for Crown Point, really wearing this LC defense down, and they're going to give it to him. That's a first down.
But like we talked about earlier, LC has started off really slow in the first quarter in every single game that they've played in. And as we saw last game, setting them back in the first quarter doesn't really hold Lake Central down, as they can just come back with a few touchdowns and really take over the game.
Not at all. That last game, final score was 30-20, but if you take out the first quarter, it would have been 7-30, Lake Central still. As Crown Point talking it over here with Coach. Second down and 6 coming up. So Lake Central stack in the box here. Crown Point with a man in motion. Takes a snap. Another run with Walters, as Lake Central does not seem to have an answer for him. Just those short little gains, the occasional break-off play, that's going to wear a defense down. And Lake Central, we're seeing some names out there that we don't normally see out there. Number 94, Eric Cruz, is out there on the D-line. Only a sophomore. Getting the start today, as that's a huge tackle there. That was number 17, Jared Ivey for Lake Central. Getting the stop in the backfield on. That's going to set up a 4th down here.
And Crown Point right now is easily inside of 4th down territory, and it looks like they're going to go for it. And I could really see them just going for a quick handoff and trying to go straight down the middle here for these extra 3 yards.
Absolutely. Nothing too complicated here, just a simple halfback dive with Walters. And that's what they do. Walters bouncing it out wide, and I think he got stopped. And Lake Central steps up huge there. Bend, don't break defense. As the Indians will now take over on the 13-yard line.
And I think the Lake Central defense there was really expecting the run, so they saw it coming, read the play perfectly, and took Walters down right away.
Absolutely, and you could see Coach Patrick Winters is definitely very happy with his team right now. Number 8, Curtis Gills, lone wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Sedano in the pistol. And looks like that was a read option there, and Sir Felix Garcia takes it. 2nd down and 8 here.
And it looks like the Lake Central offense here is really trying to feed Sir Felix, but I think that if they look towards the outside a little bit more right now and maybe look for a quick pass, then they'll get things going a lot faster.
Absolutely. You know, the run game definitely opens it up as Sir Felix Garcia bouncing it out wide. Picks up the 1st down and then some. Out to about the 29, 30-yard line. Sir Felix Garcia picking it up right where he left off from last week. So they mark it down at the 29-yard line, but just another exceptional run there from Sir Felix Garcia, who I got the chance to sit down and talk to. And, you know, he put super humble, gave all his credit to his coaches, all the credit to his offensive line. You know, pretty much just, I can't do it without him type of attitude, as Garcia gets swallowed there. Nowhere to go. So I believe that was number 52 for Crown Point there, and on the tackle. As Lake Central facing 2nd down and 9 here. Low snap to Sedano. Sedano over the middle. Off Gill's hands. That was a little bit high there. Especially going over the middle, too. You want to put that right in a guy's chest or right in a guy's stomach. You know, so that way if he does get hit, he doesn't have to worry about the ball flying. He doesn't have to worry about the defenders, you know, aiming for his head, aiming low, trying to flip him over. As we approach, we have passed the half mark of the 1st quarter. 5:07 remains here. Feels like this game's kind of been flying by.
Definitely, because I feel like the teams are playing very fast right now and just trying to get yardage.
As Gills going up, unable to make the grab there. That was number 6, Bodie Barant in coverage. As Sedano yet to complete a pass here today.
A very nice kick from Sedano here. Looks like Crown Point will be starting around the 41-yard line.
So that was number 34, Christopher Walsh, in on the kickoff, or punt return, excuse me.
And I'm really hoping that this Lake Central defense can keep holding up here and maybe even get a fumble or a pick out. And because I think that could really get the momentum going for Lake Central and start something up so that they could maybe score some points in this first quarter.
Absolutely, as Lake Central defense takes the field for the second time tonight. As Will Petit with a quick bubble screen there to his wide receiver. So that was number 88 for Crown Point.
Very nice catch by number 88 and perfect execution after he got the ball. Just ran straight down the middle and really picked up that extra yardage.
So that was David O'Toole, senior, on the catch and run there. You know, Petit just hit him right in stride, and really a great gain there. And we've got a flag on the play. So that's going to move Crown Point back a bit. Out come the "you can't do that" chants from the Lake Central crowd.
And although Lake Central isn't starting too strong right now, the fan section is really lighting up still and trying to get this team going.
As Petit running, he's under pressure, throws, makes the catch there. So that was a great play under pressure there for Crown Point.
And it looks like Crown Point lining up here. Maybe going, I would think that they would go for another pass after how successful the last one was. Looks like they will. The throw, incomplete.
So that one was nearly intercepted there by number 7, Caleb Griffin for Lake Central. So this Crown Point team, you know, it's a big team. Not to say Lake Central's got a small team by any means, but, you know, two very populated schools in the area. Obviously, it's going to mean two very, very large football teams. So Will Petit with two backs in the backfield, one right beside him, one right behind him. And Petit sidearms that throw as David O'Toole picks up gain of 5 there. Crown Point facing a 3rd down and 5 now.
And right now, it looks like this Lake Central defense just really cannot handle all the versatile options that the Crown Point offense has. They can pass it, they can throw it, and it seems like everything just seems to be going their way right now.
Crown Point's running a lot of jet sweep plays, bubble screen plays, RPO plays, read options as Crown Point picks up the 1st down again. That's number 5, Davian Lira, the junior running back for Crown Point. As we are now under 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Man in motion. That's number 83, Felix Meeks III. Caleb Griffin nearly gets the interception there.
Okay, so it looks like Crown Point's going to be lining up again, and looks like there's some confusion on the field. And we are now getting back to football. And I could very well see Crown Point going for just a quick run here, as it looks like they do straight up the middle. Their running back really pushing through this Lake Central defense, and it looks like Lake Central, there's just not much they can do here, as it's just gain after gain for Crown Point.
Crown Point really just chipping away here at Lake Central. As Crown Point now facing a 3rd down and 4 here. It's going to be interesting to see if they don't get it. Do they go for the field goal after they did not pick up the 4th down last drive?
I think if they don't get it here, we could very well still see them go for it.
As handoff to the running back. Ball comes out. Crown Point able to pick up their own fumble, but going to lose some yards there. 4th down and 5 coming up. And looks like Crown Point brings out the kicking unit. This kick's going to be from the left hash mark.
And I'm sure Lake Central fans are at least happy to see this, that they're not going for it to try and get the touchdown here.
Absolutely. Sammy Brewer, sophomore kicker for Crown Point. Kick is up. Kick is good. From 15 yards out. And about a minute 11 remain here. And Lake Central going to be getting ready to receive here. Let's see if Crown Point tries another squib onside kick type of thing on the kickoff, or if they just boot this one away. Now you got to think, you know, LC's expecting that short kickoff. That was all Portage ran against them last week. And, you know, Crown Point comes out first, the literal first play of the game.
And it seemed like the Lake Central offense, or defense here, no, offense, I'm sorry, very well dealt with it last week, as there weren't any turnovers, I don't think, on the kickoff.
Not at all, and you know, that's what an onside kick is for. You want to force a fumble. And there's the squib kick, fielded by Max Kreisbaum. Kreisbaum bouncing it outside, past the 30, makes a man miss, and went the wrong way there.
But you have to give it to Crown Point there. They really did a great job of just seeing him go right outside and sending multiple guys straight at him.
Absolutely, definitely, you know, great coverage there. You know, that play could have easily been broken to the other side of the field once Kreisbaum broke the Brandt tackle.
And I'm really interested to see what Lake Central can do here, as they've been so far unsuccessful in the first quarter.
As Sir Felix Garcia gets bottled up there. Gain of about a yard there. As clock keeps ticking under the minute mark. Lake Central's got time for one more play. Now, Mateo Sedano has yet to complete a pass this game. You got to get Mateo Sedano going. If Crown Point knows all you're going to do is run with Garcia, but Garcia, it doesn't, as Garcia gets slammed there. That could have been, you know, that looked like a bad tackle. Garcia was up in the air there with a bunch of Crown Point guys swarming him. As Lake Central's going to remember that one. They're going to take note of that, and I don't think Crown Point's going to get away with that. It's this fan section lives up here. So that's a huge thank you to Charles Beard, our Lake Central photographer here, as well as our publications staff, all taking videos and pictures.
And I think that Sedano's very happy with how that first quarter actually ended, because the whole crowd has just been on their feet and really just pushing forward here. And if they can get that momentum going in the second quarter, which we know that they average about 10.5 points in, I think that we can really just take the game over.
Absolutely, as Crown Point's defense comes out here, and out comes the Lake Central offense as well. Diego Garcia going right through Crown Point's defense as he takes the field there. As Gills lined up at the top of your screen, single coverage. Crown Point showing no over-the-top safety help. As Garcia bouncing it a bit as he gets stuffed there. And that's going to be a loss of 1 there. Now Lake Central faced with a 2nd down and 11.
Now, what kind of play do you think they're going to try and run here after having a couple unsuccessful runs in the first quarter?
I mean, you look at, the way that Crown Point has come out. They're not showing help over the top. They're selling out to this run. And that's, the number one reason they're stopping it. Yeah, Lake Central's broken off a couple big runs, but here comes the pass, which is what I was going to get to, as Sedano now 0 for 4. And that's, 3 drops for this Indians wide receiving core, which, they've all been kind of higher up passes, but all right at their fingertips, which you don't want to see if you, have to get into a situation where you have to pass the ball. As now the Indians are faced with that situation as they face 3rd down and long here. Indians come out. Pistol formation, no tight end, 4 wide receivers. That's Sedano. Screen pass to Sir Felix Garcia as Crown Point's all over that. Now Crown Point definitely, studied their tape and watched Sir Felix Garcia, and they said, we're not going to let Sir Felix Garcia do what he did to Portage against us.
And you can even see it when Crown Point is lining up their defense. You can just see almost everybody except 3 or 4 guys just right up on that line, ready for that run.
Absolutely, as Lake Central's punt team comes out. Crown Point with a receiver deep down at the 10-yard line. Still moving back, low snap there, but Crown Point dropped everyone back, so Sedano got lucky there. It's a beautiful night for football here, Simon. If you look over across 41, our viewers at home, go look out a window or something. But the moon just shining above the clouds, nice weather, very little humidity, which is kind of shocking because we had a lot of rain this morning. But fortunately, we're able to, yet again, get a perfect night for football.
Definitely. And looks like we have about 10:25 left in the half here. Let's see if Lake Central can get a big stop against this Crown Point offense.
As Crown Point, 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen, tight end in motion, going in and out. Now going up the field. Quarterback lofts it up there for him. Intercepted. So that's number 36 for Lake Central, Mel Hay, the sophomore linebacker. And look at the reaction from this Lake Central sideline. He's going to get that turnover chain, or the turnover belt, as Lake Central has it. And just listen to the reaction of this crowd here as he lifts it up. Just stole that out of the Crown Point player's hands.
Perfectly executed, amazing catch, perfect defense on his man, and that's what you get for playing good football.
As this fan section is alive and well, Simon. Lake Central now only 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Man in motion coming across in the I formation. As Creasbaum looking to bounce it outside, gets nowhere. Crown Point playing the run today beautifully. As Creasbaum lost his helmet there on the tackle. So that means Creasbaum's got to check out right now. Garcia's still on the sidelines too. And Ryan Mayton and Sir Felix Garcia both check into the game now. 2nd and 11 for Lake Central here. So this Crown Point defense has been fierce today against the run. And Lake Central's offense has been just unable to catch.
But I hope to see this unrelenting Crown Point defense just get worn down as the game goes on. But it looks like a flag is up.
Sedano gonna run there. Pushed out of bounds. Let's see what the flag is. So that one came in right when the ball was snapped. So that's a sideline warning there.
Now we'll be coming up on 3rd and 11 for the Lake Central Indians.
Well, with the penalty now, it is 3rd and 7. You know, that's not what you really expect there. You're expecting maybe false start, offsides, illegal formation, sideline.
But very nice for the Indians nonetheless.
And Sedano rolling out, looking to throw, just has to throw that one away into the Crown Point sidelines. As Lake Central wants a roughing the passer call. This Crown Point's been getting some big hits on this Lake Central team. We saw the
Looks
let's
like
see,
the
there is a flag.
Officials are talking it over.
Not sure if it's going to be illegal grounding or roughing the passer, but Crown Point's definitely gotten some big hits there. We saw Sir Felix Garcia get flipped up and over. We saw Sedano just take a hit stick like he was in Madden. Roughing the passer is the Indians catch a big break there. And the penalty's offset. So I take back what I said about the Indians getting a big break there. So roughing the passer and illegal grounding. 2 penalties you don't see too often in high school football. And they both offset each other.
Looks like we're right back to 3rd and 7 for the Lake Central Indians.
As the Indians call timeout here. As the coaches not looking too happy with the refs out there.
So we've seen this Lake Central offense get stuffed on the runs, not been able to complete their passes. Now, what do you think they're going to go for on this 3rd and 7?
I mean, you know, you're faced with a passing down here. You got to look to pass the ball. Crown Point's going to be expecting it. Maybe a, draw play with the running back, but Crown Point's been all over the run today. That's the #1 thing they focused on, I feel, in practice. And, that's the threat of this LC team is Sir Felix Garcia. I would say maybe a potential screen pass, but Garcia only with 4 receptions on the season, I believe. And Lake Central going to pass there. Sedano making men miss. Sedano gets out. And down goes Sedano there.
And it looks like the wide receivers were not very happy with that, coming back to the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, anytime your quarterback takes a hit like that down by the knees, that's not something that you want to see, really. Quarterback they're the life and soul of the team, and if a quarterback goes out with an injury, you might as well just say the whole team's injured. But Sedano still out there, ready to boot this one away. The nice punt fielded at around the 14-yard line. Nearly muffed there by Christopher Walter. Flag on the play, as I think that's going to, no matter what happens on this punt return, I think it could come back as Crown Point gets nabbed for an illegal block in the back, it appears. So, whole lot of running, all for nothing. As Crown Point's offense taking the field way, way back. Definitely not where the return man got him. As huge loss for Lake Central today. Armand Irving is being held out of this game. You know, you see him on the sideline. He's got the jersey on with a hoodie underneath with, you know, just his practice shorts. And he's been a huge piece for this Lake Central defense. And, you know, the defense seems to be doing a really nice job holding up without him. But, again, just not really what you want to see.
And we have seen him come up big in the last couple games as he swatted down a ball last game.
With an absolutely huge swat there.
Absolutely, because that was on a 4th down play and gave the Indians the ball, the Lake Central Indians, that is.
Yeah, it's Crown Point keeping their tight end on his feet. Play action there. Quarterback in his own end zone, rolling out, throwing, overthrows his wide receiver. So that was number 7, Will Petit there. And looked a little awkward on the run. Not sure if, you know, the play was maybe directed towards the other half of the field and everybody just went one way. But, you know, it didn't look like he was comfortable running and rolling and throwing on the run.
And I think that the Lake Central defense could come out huge here and maybe even get a safety because as we saw just now, Will Petit really getting back into that end zone could be getting into dangerous territory.
Now, safety would be huge here. That would make it a 1-point game. This Crown Point's only got a 3-point lead. And Petit again going to run off the play action in his own end zone. Rolling, firing deep, misses his man. That was David O'Toole. Deep with a step on his man there, and Crown Point now faced with a 3rd down and 10. Now that's 2 open wide receivers who Petit just missed.
And a stop here for Lake Central would be huge.
Absolutely, as Petit and Crown Point come out in the shotgun formation. Single wide receiver to the top and bottom of your screen. Say watch for a draw play here, maybe a dive up the middle. And no, Crown Point's going to pass again. And incomplete. Batted away at the last second there. That was number 25 for Lake Central, Marco Chiapponi in coverage. And 4th down and 10 now for Crown Point. That's a huge stop for Lake Central, not giving up a single yard on that possession.
Perfect defense there by Lake Central. Chiapponi just perfectly covering his man and swatting down that ball right at the end there.
Absolutely, as Crown Point now comes out in a more traditional punting formation than Lake Central. You know, they only had 3 guys lined up on the line at the beginning. Looked a little bit like the Indianapolis Colts. But that punt's going to go out. Lake Central not even having to cross the 50 here as they're going to get the ball in Crown Point territory.
And this is amazing field position for the Lake Central Indians. If they can really just get one big play here, then they can get it right into the end zone for a couple points.
Absolutely, and I don't think Lake Central's, you know, crossed the 50-yard line yet this game. Now they get the ball at the 47, which is huge. Now this game, it's really going to come down to the offense, you know. You got 2 low-scoring games, but if this Lake Central offense can ramp it up, I feel the Lake Central defense is going to do a tremendous job, you know, keeping Crown Point out of the end zone.
And if Sedano can even throw a quick bullet pass here, then maybe we could even see the kicker come out and get a field goal.
His kicker this year is Derek Baldwin as Sedano in motion. Wide receiver drops the pass again, and a late hit there. And out comes the flag as Sarbieski. Ball was already behind him. Crown Point defender hit him as that should be giving Lake Central a nice chunk of change there. As Crown Point not looking happy at all there, but you know, these refs, they're trying to send a message to Crown Point. They've seen a couple cheap shots. And the flag is picked up. And like we said, with this being a rivalry, the teams are definitely, you know, trying to chip it away at each other. As second down and 10 now after the flag was picked up. Garcia with the play action. Sedano keeps it and picks up about 6, maybe 7 there. Depends where the refs mark it, as it will be 3rd down and 4 here.
And I think that was a very good play call there by Lake Central, seeing as they really held it there with Garcia and Sedano for quite a while, so as to trick the Crown Point defense into thinking that they were going with the run again.
Yes, you know, Crown Point sold out to the run there. And the ref blows the whistle. Calls Curtis Gills to the sideline. And it could be equipment, as Ryan Mayton checks in for Gills now. And Garcia trucking ahead. He's going to be very close there, pushed ahead by his O-line. And that's right on it there. It's going to be inches. 4th down and 1. Lake Central's got to go for it here. And no, they originally marked it a 4th down. Now, chain gang moves, and it's a 1st down. Crown Point players again throwing their hands up in the air in a state of not being too happy.
But you can understand their frustration, as that is a huge call there.
Absolutely. And Garcia again with a nice carry. Garcia just running it up the middle, finding the holes, bouncing off his O-lineman. Occasionally even, getting just pushed in the pile. As we are approaching the 6:30 minute mark here in the second quarter. As Lake Central still not in field goal range, looking to pick up some more yards, but this Indians team definitely wants a touchdown, as Garcia able to bounce it out, gets to about the 30-yard line, as Lake Central again tasked with another 3rd down and 4 to be exact here.
And it looks like we've just crossed the halfway point of this second quarter here. Coming up on 3rd and 4 for the Lake Central Indians. And I'm really hoping that we can see maybe a quick slant play here from Lake Central instead of the traditional run that they've been going with for most of this game.
I would say watch Ryan Mayton at the bottom of your screen for a quick curl pass, or not, as Garcia takes the handoff. Goes nowhere there. Now, the Indians, is there a choice other than going for it here? You can't kick a field goal this far with a high schooler. As, we see some guys in the NFL can't make it, as, oh, never mind. Out comes kicker Derek Baldwin.
And I actually agree completely with this call, because I think if they just believe in their kicker here, he can really send it home for the 3 points to tie the game.
As Lake Central calls a timeout there, as number 70, Brandon McNeil, a little bit slow running onto the field, straggling behind a bit. But let's see if Lake Central's, maybe rethinking their decision to kick a field goal, maybe talk over a fake field goal by chance. But, this is from the 30-yard line. This is a 47-yard field goal from the very left hash. And last year, the Indians were blessed with Cole Rainwater, who is now off at Valparaiso University playing soccer. So, if he's playing soccer as a freshman in college, that should tell you, he was really good at kicking. And Baldwin with the 47-yard field goal attempt. Baldwin, a former soccer player for Lake Central. Danny Nichol, the holder. Snap is good, and kick is blocked. And Crown Point takes the ball there. And not what Lake Central would have wanted there. A miss would have been nicer than that even, but a blocked kick, that one's going to sting.
Looks like Derek was really trying to hit kind of a line drive kick there so that he could get that extra distance to maybe get the 3 points there.
Unfortunately, the kick was just a little bit too low. Crown Point able to jump up, bat that ball away. As Crown Point now taking the field. 4 minutes, 51 seconds remain in the first half. Petit drops back to pass, hits David O'Toole with a lot of green in front of him as O'Toole gets swarmed there around the 45-yard line. As clock keeps ticking here.
Looks like a run up the middle for Crown Point. Gets through and picks up the first down there. Gets a couple extra yards.
And I'm not too sure who that was there on the tackle. That was either Jared Ivey or Caleb Griffin, but one of the two just went flying in there and made the tackle. Great effort there by Lake Central, but Crown Point now with the first down as they get over the 50-yard line. Crown Point staying in the shot or pistol formation. As Crown Point keeps their tight end in motion. That's number 5, Davian Lira, going nowhere. Going to end up losing some yards there for Crown Point. Loss of 1.
And very good read there by the Lake Central defense, seeing the run right away and just stopping him and the rest of the defense coming over to take him down.
Absolutely is now, they mark it as a loss of 2 now. And wide receiver in motion there. I believe that's David O'Toole again. As Lira up the middle. Not going too far away there. 3rd down and 8 for Crown Point now. As this clock keeps ticking, Crown Point trying to, milk the clock a little bit here. Maybe take this lead into halftime. Not give Lake Central the opportunity to score.
And if Lake Central does get a stop here, do you think that Crown Point's going to go for it on 4th down?
I feel like it is 4-down territory, but Crown Point really, if they do want to take this lead into halftime, they can't afford to be risky. It would be safer off to just, punt it, as Petit gets nailed on his own sideline there, but unable to pick up the first down.
Looks like a flag is down.
And now we're faced with a 4th down and 3 here. As Coach Patrick Winters not looking too happy here. So it's going to be an important call here. and unsportsmanlike conduct against the offense. They're not liking the hit of their quarterback on their own sideline, as that's really going to push Crown Point back. Now Crown Point is bringing out their punting unit as, they can't go for it now, facing a 4th down and long.
And it really looked like Petit did get rocked onto the sideline there.
It's Crown Point really moving back. 4th down and 18 here. That was a 15-yard penalty. As, high school sports, they don't take unsportsmanlike conduct too nicely. Now Crown Point kicking from their own 46-yard line. At least that's where the ball is. Punter is around the 32-yard line. Snap is good. Punt will drop down at about the 20. Picked up there by the wide receiver, or by the return man. That was Caleb Griffin, who gets out past the 25, it appears. And it's going to be interesting to see if he stepped out there, as they mark him down at the 25-yard line. Now with 2 minutes, 19 seconds left, Lake Central only has 1 timeout, but, you want to get some points on the board before halftime.
And I think we could very well see, if they get into kicking territory, for them to just go straight for the field goal.
Absolutely. Now, I like to, believe in saving your final timeout before halftime. Save it in case you need to get that kickoff. Save it so you could, drive up closer and then kick that field goal, as Garcia with a nice run there out to about the 29-yard line. 2nd down and 4 to go. As we approach the 2-minute warning, clock keeps ticking. Garcia bouncing it outside, out past the 30, gets to about the 31.
And I think number 8 for Lake Central, Curtis Gills, is really just itching to get a pass here, as we've seen him restless down by the sideline on every play.
Absolutely. As Gills, he had that opportunity over the middle at the very beginning of this game, but it was slightly overthrown, and off his fingertips as Garcia picks up the 1st down there for the Indians. As a minute 40 remains here. Ball on the Indians' 36-yard line. And ball is set. Clock keeps ticking here. It's approaching the minute 30 mark. Now the time is not Lake Central's friend here. 3 wide receivers out there. Sedano drops back, looking to throw, rolling out. Sedano gonna throw, nearly intercepted there. As that was number 34, Christopher Walsh. Just kind of bobbled it, and by the time he got a hold of it, his feet were out. So Lake Central escapes there. It's number 13 for Crown Point. Colin Flavin checks out for number 40, Griffin Atherton.
And although I think that was a good call for the play, I just don't think that Sedano has been having the range tonight to throw something like that.
Sedano has definitely seemed a little bit, off his A game tonight. And not sure if, the wind is affecting him maybe. It was very windy when we came out here to set up our live stream. That's the fan section getting into it again. So we approach the minute mark. Clock keeps on ticking. 3rd down and 7 here.
Lake Central lining up for 3rd and 7 with about 35 seconds left. And if they could maybe get a big pass here, that would be huge.
And quick screen there. That was to Danny Nykel, and he's going to be close to a first down. Depends where they mark it.
And it looks like they marked it just short of the first down.
Lake Central's going to use their timeout, which tells you they're going to go for it here. Fourth down and inches here. Now Lake Central's faced with a problem, as, you know, if they get a big gain, but they're still in bounds, that clock's going to keep on ticking. They got to look towards the outside of the field.
Number one thing that I think coach is telling them right now is to get out of bounds if you get the ball.
Absolutely. You know, get ready to. I don't think we've seen this Lake Central team really work in the no-huddle offense yet this season, but, you know, now seems like a great time to get that worked in. Because the Indians can't really go for a run here either, as no running back in the backfield, as Jalen Wigley comes out now, and Lake Central going to punt. They do. I'm not sure about that one. I don't see why you would call a timeout. Give Crown Point the chance with the ball when it's 4th down and 1 and you're down 3. There's not really much you could lose there except if you punt and directly give the ball to Crown Point.
Yeah, and I think even if Lake Central went for it there, and even if they got stuffed up, Crown Point had the ball around the 50-yard line, and unless you give them something really big, which could even happen now, then I don't see anything happening.
I mean, Crown Point does have 3 timeouts here, but now only 13 seconds remain. And just a run play, simple run, as Crown Point's going to let this one drain away to halftime. And Simon, we got a couple breaks coming up, but we will be right back after this short halftime break.
What's up, Lake Central? I'm Yusuf Tamari.
I'm Riley Nestricht.
And I'm Mia Martinez.
And we're your social media editors.
We manage 4 accounts for the high school: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook.
We cover things such as sporting events, pep rallies, clubs, and concerts.
Make sure to follow us on all our accounts. And we'll see you around, Elsie.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the burial grounds here at Lake Central. 3-0 is the score. Not really an offensive game at all. Really a defensive battle for both these teams. Simon, if you're one of the head coaches for Lake Central or for Crown Point, what are you telling your team in this halftime?
I think for Crown Point, I would definitely be telling my team to just be a little bit more aggressive because it feels like they've really been holding back on the LC team. Even though they are up, they're only up by 3 points here. And it really seems like when they need their players to come in clutch, they're just not handling it, especially on those fourth downs.
Yeah, I mean, if you're head coach Tony Bartolomeo for Lake Central, you got to just tell your team, this is a 3-point difference. A touchdown gives us the lead. A field goal ties it. A safety makes it a 1-point game. Like, LC's not really in that much of a hole at all. They're not in a hole. They're in a pothole. And LC's just got to keep their head on straight. Just keep pounding it away at Crown Point. Keep Crown Point on their toes, and eventually they'll break off the big one.
And it looks like Crown Point is getting ready to receive the ball here as we start the second half.
As LC did receive in the first half, so Crown Point gets this one. Now, Crown Point's offense, they look dangerous out there with number 24, Matthew Walters, at running back, and we haven't seen a whole lot of him ever since. He just kept chipping away at Lake Central, even with Davian Lira out there running back, and then they kind of just abandoned the run and went towards the passes.
But even the passes, we didn't see them go back to a lot of their men that were really taking care of it in the first quarter, like David O'Toole, sorry. Number 88, he was really just taking care of that LC defense, just getting those quick grabs and just pushing through multiple players.
Yeah, and, we saw a lot of overthrows as both fan sections going back and forth with the, jumping chance there as kick is off, and that's a touchback there for, like we just said, number 24, Matthew Walters. So the Indian defense will take the field first, looking to get force a quick 3-and-out against this Crown Point team.
Yeah, and head coach Bartolomeo would really love to see a quick 3-and-out here and maybe get that offense really running in this second half. Because as we've talked about, time and time again, LC really doesn't start putting points on that board until the second half.
Yeah, and, during halftime, I got the chance to talk with some people down in the student section, talk with some people who are on the field reporting for our LC TV that we have here at the high school, and our on-field reporters, they said that Bartolomeo is not happy with a lot of these calls, You've seen Sedano and Sir Felix Garcia, arguably two of LC's best offensive players, taking some, big hits, taking some late hits. And Bart's just super upset about that from what I could tell and from what I heard.
But you can't always blame it on just the calls because
yeah,
we have had a lot of overthrows and we've been really stuffed up with the running game. So, props to the Crown Point defense for that.
Absolutely, and flag on the play.
Looks like it may be a false start.
And Crown Point showing their flashlights. And the Lake Central kids doing it right back. And 2nd down and 8 coming up here for Lake Central, for Crown Point.
And it looks like a big run goes out to the side and then gets stuffed up with a gain of about 6 yards there.
And out comes the "Ours Are Better" chant from the Lake Central fan section.
And
as it always is whenever, another fan section does something.
The Lake Central fan section really seems to be amped up at the start of this second half, expecting some points to be put on the board for their team. And I could really see that happening in the near future if they stop Crown Point here on this 3rd and 2.
And Griffin, the single high safety for Lake Central. Jalen Wigley on an island at the bottom of your screen. And quick pass over the middle. So that was number 16, Ben Urin for Crown Point.
And actually, very nice execution there. Perfect pass right in his breadbasket, and really just grabbed that and took it straight down with him.
And tight end in motion here. And Lira going nowhere there as the Lake Central defensive front swarmed him.
And it looks like the Lake Central defense here really is coming out stronger in the second half, really rejuvenated after getting that little break. And I'm hoping to see a big stop here, not letting Crown Point get to that 50-yard line.
Absolutely, yes. Crown Point staying in the pistol formation, trips wide receivers at the bottom of your screen.
About 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Tight end leaving the trip set. Petit with the handoff there. So that's a big run there. That was Lira.
Looked like a gain of about 8. But he is a little bit short of that first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 1 for Crown Point. And if LC gets a big stop here, do you think that Crown Point's going to go for it at the 50?
If they lose yards, it depends on how much they lose, but we won't even be faced with that question here as Crown Point picks up the first down. Looked like a gain of about 2 there, just enough.
Crown Point seems to be getting off a lot of quick plays here and just picking up the pace of the game right away. And I think that they're really attacking the problems that we were spotting earlier of them not being aggressive enough. And it just seems like they're absolutely penetrating this Lake Central defense here.
Absolutely, and we've only seen LC get shut out in the first half one time this season, and that was the Hammond-Morton game, which got off to a slow start for both teams. But, both teams really got into that locker room, got the talk from coach, and we'll see if, both these teams come out firing more in this half.
And hopefully we really get to see the Lake Central offense go to work after the defense hopefully gets a stop.
Felix Meeks starts to the left, comes back right in motion as Lira goes nowhere there. Tried to bounce it outside. Crown Point now faced with a 3rd down and 9 on their own 47-yard line. Or, my apologies, on the Indians' 47-yard line.
And we can even see from up here the great communication from the LC defense, just spotting out those run plays and just attacking that running back right away.
Absolutely, and Lake Central coming out with the 3D lineman look, highlighted now by Quincy Fleming and Mark-Henry Derogine, as well as number 62, that is Brandon Ozist, and huge loss there. Lake Central might have, sidelines are definitely celebrating there.
Looked like the receiver was absolutely leveled after getting the ball there.
I believe that was number 17, Jared Ivey on the tackle. And definitely got the sidelines pumped up right on the Lake Central sidelines too.
Absolutely, and we can feel the energy up here, even from the fan section down there. Just getting pumped up for this Lake Central defense right now.
Low snap is just blocked there. And Mark-Henry Derogine picks it up. That's a huge play for Lake Central. They're going to get it at about their 30-yard line. Look at defensive coordinator Patrick Winters out there, jumping around, chest bumping Mark-Henry Derogine, looking like he's a player himself out there.
And, I mean, really just amazing work by the Lake Central defense there, swatting down that ball and getting the quick recovery.
And that's number 52 for Lake Central. Carter Schuster credited for the block. He gets the turnover belt now. Mark-Henry Derogine gets to wear it now after he got the recovery. And Sedano with Lake Central's first offensive possession here. Going deep to Gills, overthrows him.
But I do like to see that Sedano is going straight for Gills here in the second half. As we saw him throw one pass to Gills in the first half, didn't really like what was happening. But now it looks like they're communicating much better now, even though it was an incomplete pass.
Holding against the offense. I thought, you know, there was a lot of contact on that route there with Gills and the defensive back. I thought maybe there was a chance that there would be a defensive pass interference. Instead, Lake Central now faced with a first down and 20. So, Indians now got a lot more to, you know, pick up.
And the Indians defense really picked it up in the second half, but what we really need to see is this Lake Central Indians offense, because they've really just been, looks like they've been sleeping out here, especially in the first half, and hopefully they can really wake up and pick it up in the second half.
Absolutely. Sedano's got to get it going here through the air as, you know, he's missed a lot of open receivers.
Yes, a lot of overthrown passes this game so far, and let's hope that we don't see too many more in the second half. But it looks like they did go for a quick run there, but it was quickly blocked up, and I really don't think that the run is the right play here, especially on 2nd and 14, or third.
2nd and 14.
2nd and 14.
You're correct. But, you know, still a gain of 6 there as Garcia bouncing it out to the sidelines now. Garcia gets a big gain.
And it looks like a flag is
on
down.
The play. I think that might have came in before the hit there. But Garcia took a shot right to the knees. And it is another holding on the offense. Lake Central now going to be faced with even more here. They're looking like the Bears in that first game where they faced the first down and 40.
That was
holding after holding after holding.
That was a very rough game to watch.
On the bright side, Crown Point has as much points as the Bears did.
And 2nd and 27 coming up here. Let's see what they can do. Hopefully a long pass to try and even get towards that first down marker.
2nd down and 27 now. For the penalty knocks 10 yards off the board. Garcia on the screen pass gets up past the 50-yard line. And that's only a gain of 6 there. 3rd down and 21 to come up. Or 3rd and 19. They gave him some extra yards there. And Sedano, you know, you got to expect a deep pass here as Sedano drops back looking to throw. Has a lot of time in the pocket, and then it all just breaks down, fires it out to the Crown Point sideline. 4th and 19 coming up. Doesn't look like Lake Central's got the punt. Oh, never mind. Out comes the punting unit. As this is another drive where they just had great field position and nothing to work with here. As Sedano with the boot. Muffed punt there. I think Lake Central's got it. Lake Central says they do, as this is going to be at their 9-yard line if they do have it. Crown Point got a little bit ahead of themselves there. So you could hear a pin drop in the stadium, it feels, as everyone's anticipating. As Crown Point catches a huge break there.
The Lake Central team did not look very happy about that at all.
Let's turn down our field mic there. And we could turn that one up as the fan section did not agree with that call.
And we can't see what the refs can see down there, but it really looked like Lake Central had it right out of the gate.
It looked like Jared Ivey was on that ball as soon as it was muffed, but, you know, we aren't in that pile. We don't know what's happening. It really all depends on who's got it at the end of that pile.
But Lake Central defense could come out huge here if they got a tackle.
Absolutely. This is some pretty bad starting position for Crown Point as they're on their 9-yard line.
Looks like Walter gets a gain of about 6.
As they move that one back a yard there. 2nd and 5 coming up.
With 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
As we are getting ready to pass the midpoint mark. And Griffin, single high safety. 5:57 left here in this quarter. And sweep play there to Walters. And he picks up the first down.
Looks like Crown Point is really going for these quick passes again, straight to Walter as we come back to them in the third quarter here.
As Walters now the running back in the backfield. As Felix Meeks again staying in motion. Crown Point loving to keep him on his toes there as Griffin comes flying in to make the tackle on Walters there.
Good read and great tackle there.
It's going to gain about 7 yards for Crown Point, bringing up the 2nd down and 3 here. As Lake Central now showing 2 safeties up top. Ivy moving back down towards the line of scrimmage, playing in the box. Ivy almost gets there, gets the quarterback hit. As O'Toole with not going down there. Schuster had him by the jersey, but O'Toole just kept fighting for that one there.
Looks like they will mark it as a first down for Crown Point, though.
Yeah, and Crown Point got very lucky there that it was a quick screen play, because if you saw Jared Ivey, he was screaming off the edge there coming from the safety position.
Absolutely, and I wish we would see that more actually from the Lake Central defense.
Absolutely. More fake blitzes, more stunt blitzes. And O'Toole with a big gain there. Flag on the play. Flag came from around the Crown Point sideline. Let's see what the ref saw. And that's going to bump Crown Point back there as it's a holding penalty.
Looks like Lake Central got a big break there with that holding penalty, as it could have been a huge gain for Crown Point. We'll see if the Lake Central defense can really utilize that penalty and get a stop here.
As it's now first down and 10 again. Basically just a replay. Or first down and 13 now. My apologies. And Walters trying to bounce it outside, going nowhere there.
Matthew Walters, the ball carrier.
2nd and 14 coming up now.
17, Jared Ivy.
As checking out of the game for Lake Central is number 94, Eric Cruz, sophomore defensive lineman.
And we really have seen this Lake Central defense step up, even though it does have a few injuries here.
As we watch Ivy here in motion, moving around in the box, getting down towards the line of scrimmage. And Ivy stays back in coverage. And ref collides with the receiver.
Looks like a flag is
comes
down.
out. And looked like it was number 16 for Crown Point there. Ben Urin taking down the ref over the middle of the field. Luckily, both parties got up and everyone's okay. But now, time to see what the flag is. Another holding on the offense is Mark Henry Daragine, getting right up there, clapping in the Crown Point players' faces. David O'Toole, specifically.
Sounds like the fan section was chanting, "You can't do that."
Yeah, that's pretty common after a penalty or, something.
Definitely what we like to hear from up here in the press box.
Absolutely, and we're able to hear it from up here, so imagine what the atmosphere is like down there.
And 2nd and 31 coming up for Crown Point. Two huge holding calls on this run.
And Petit rolling out, looking to throw across his body. Nobody was there. As 3rd down and 31 now.
Looked like there were about 3 Lake Central defenders within 5 feet of that ball, but just couldn't quite get there.
3:24 remains here, 3rd and 31 on the 15-yard line.
And Lake Central has been doing a really good job of putting pressure on that quarterback. Every single time they have a run, we see Petit just pressured to go to the sideline. Sometimes just making a good play, by him just getting the ball out there. But it looks like we really have been doing a good job of shutting him down.
So Lake Central's been making him roll out to his opposite side there. And that's a big hit there by Jared Ivy and Jalen Wigley on number 16, Ben Urin.
Looks like the kicking unit will come out for Crown Point, though.
As Caleb Griffin is the return man. Jared Ivy playing a little bit of mid there. And Crown Point gets the punt off. Griffin will field it and take off at around the 30 and takes a solid hit there, stays on his feet. Nice play there by Caleb Griffin.
Looked like huge head-on collision for Caleb Griffin there.
And Griffin just, stood his own on the sidelines, just looked down on the guy. That was that was pretty cool.
Pretty impressive to say the least.
Absolutely, showing off that attitude there.
And as we said, as this is a huge rivalry, there's going to be a lot of tension throughout this entire game. And you can really see it just in every little play, every little tackle that they make. Just trying to put a little bit extra aggression into it this game.
Absolutely, as it's number one, it's a close game, so any close game is going to be chippy. As Sedano with the quarterback keeper there, Sedano gets out past the 40, down at around the 47, 48 yard line there. 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Indians.
And Sedano has been doing a great job when he is getting pressured to just roll out to the side and get a few extra yards.
As Garcia nowhere to go there. It's dragged down in the backfield as now the Indians faced with a 3rd down and 3 here.
And we've talked about it a ton of times just this game where Crown Point has just been playing such a good defense against the run and really just blocking up all those possible holes that Garcia could go to.
Absolutely, as under 2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Lake Central in the pistol. Sedano hands it off to Garcia. Garcia picks up the 1st down and a lot more. Garcia out past the foot, out above the 50. Flag on the play, back by the 50, and I got a feeling this one's going to start coming back. So this is a huge call there, as if it is against Lake Central, you know, that huge run is taken off the board completely. And it is a legal block in the back on Lake Central.
And we've seen a lot of flags at the end of this 3rd quarter here, probably around 3 or 4 in just the last few minutes here.
Absolutely, lots of holding calls, lots of you know, blocking penalties. And now Lake Central's going to face 3rd and long coming up. 3rd and 8 from the 38-yard line. Sedano drops back to pass. Garcia off his hands again. Another throw that was just too high for the wide receiver there.
But I'd say that one was better than some of the previous throws that we've seen this game. Looked like it was right into his hands, but just couldn't get a handle on it.
Yeah, that's you know, that was has Sedano completed a pass this game? He might have completed a couple, but a lot of his throws have been just complete overthrows, where it's right there for the wide receiver, but it's just too far, and it's in too high pressure situations as Sedano boosts this one away. And another punt that goes pretty high up, but sails out early. And out come the tubas for Lake Central. In the fan section excited, something to cheer about as LC offense has been stagnant.
And hopefully this LC offense can get as much energy as those tubas had just now.
Who knows, maybe that's what they play at halftime to get the team pumped up. And Walters with the carry. Our apologies, that was David Lira. Second down and 4 coming up for the Indians.
Where he wants to set up 38-yard lines where the ball's at. That was a gain of 6 for Lira, 2nd and 4.
As Griffin still single high safety. Ref in the middle of the field. Might want to watch out after Urin took him over. And we got a tug of war with the running back. That's going to be 3rd down and maybe a foot.
About a minute left in the 3rd quarter here. Coming up on 3rd down and 1 yard. Hopefully we can see a big stop in the middle here.
As 40 seconds remain here. Lira picking up the 1st down. Carter Schuster in on the tackle as 35.9 seconds remain. Play clock keeps on ticking. Excuse me.
First and 10 Bulldogs from their own 46-yard line.
So now the game clock continues to tick, tick, tick away. Crown Point's got enough time for one more play here. And that'll probably take us to the fourth quarter. And Petit, nowhere to go, gets dropped there by Carter Schuster in the backfield. That's what LC wants to end the third quarter. End of the third quarter, Crown Point 3, Lake Central 0.
We've reached the end of the third quarter. Our score, the Crown Point Bulldogs 3, Lake Central Indians 0.
Now, Simon, what do either of these teams have to do to really toughen up, clutch out this win here at the Burial Grounds?
Well, I think Lake Central has been doing a great job on the defensive side so far in this third quarter, stopping a lot of the runs, not letting a lot of the throws get through, but I just think that the Lake Central offense really needs to step it up here in this fourth quarter to put some points on the board and just get this crowd pumped up as well, because everyone is seeming to be a little quieter now since there's not much action going on the field.
Absolutely. And to start off this fourth quarter, I'd like to give a big shout out to all our fans watching at home, all our cameramen, scoreboard men here, our advisors, Mrs. Verputin, Miss Wadicki, and Miss Wiseman. I'd also like to plug our social media, as you've seen the clips before here. And also, I would like to plug our LCTV, which had episode 2 released today. Definitely worth checking out. And 2nd and 15 here. Petit dropping back to throw. Pass is incomplete. And I didn't hear a whistle until late, but the refs rule it incomplete there. 3rd and 15 now for Crown Point and Petit. We've got a player down there. Not sure who that is there, but Indians taking a knee here. And you know, any injury is obviously much bigger than the score of a football game. As Crown Point's training staff is out there now.
But we do love to see the great sportsmanship of this Lake Central team taking a knee for this downed player right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the players who are on the field. It's, you know, you could see the entire sideline.
And you can even hear there's just no sound in the air right now as everyone's just waiting to see if this player's okay.
Correction, Miss Wiseman, now known as Miss Flores, as she got married. And the Crown Point player turns out to be number 83, Felix Meeks III, able to get off and walk under his own power. Walking with the trainer there, gonna get looked at on the sidelines. It's Crown Point now gonna be faced with a 3rd down and 15 here.
It'll be 3rd and 14 for Crown Point from their own 42-yard line.
And Crown Point with the trips formation at the top of your screen with 3 wide receivers. Single wide receiver isolated to the bottom. Shotgun formation. Petit looking, dropping back to throw. Mark Henry Darashine trying to get there. As it looked like Marco Chiapponi had that one as a house call there. Fooled our cameraman, fooled us.
I definitely thought he was going to come down with that one there.
That looked like it was like he had it and he was running with it. I didn't see the ball go over him. I didn't see the ball go, under him. I thought he had that football, but guess magically it ended up behind him.
Either way, it looks like it's going to be Lake Central ball here.
And Griffin will not field the punt, going to let it bounce as Crown Point gets on it at around the 15, 16-yard line. It's both teams with all 3 timeouts here. Approaching 11:37 here in this game.
And I'm really hoping to see this Lake Central offense come alive in this fourth quarter here, as we've seen them not do too much in the last 3 quarters. But we do hear the fan section getting loud for this Lake Central offense.
Absolutely, as now it's clutch time here for the Indians as Garcia looking to break it out there, unable to get a whole lot going.
Looks like he almost had a route to the outside there, but got blocked up by another Crown Point defender.
That was a gain of 2 there, 2nd down and 8 coming up. As Nichol in motion, Sedano drops back looking to pass. Overthrows Nichol again right at his fingertips there. If these Sedano passes were maybe just a couple inches lower, he would be lighting up this Crown Point team right now. But he's just putting it in a place where it's really hard for the wide receiver to go up there and get it.
But it can be very difficult as a high school quarterback because you definitely don't want to see an interception here, especially so close to that end zone.
Absolutely, and 3rd and 8 coming up now. Got to be expecting the run or the pass here from Lake Central. Nichol in motion again, wide open in the flats, going deep to Gills. And would you believe this if I said it went off his fingertips again? Because it did. 4th down and 8 here. Now, is LC going to go for it? Personally, I wouldn't. You're too deep in your own territory. Got to punt this one away, and it seems that's what Lake Central's doing, is to bring out Jared Ivey and Jalen Wigley, a.k.a. the punt coverage team.
It really just seems like Sedano's connection to his wide receivers just really has not been there this game.
Absolutely, and that's a low punt there. And Ivy brings down the returner. That was number 10 on the return. Riley McCauley. And now Lake Central's defense comes out onto the field.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 47-yard line.
And Crown Point now coming out. Pistol formation as Lira gets to about the 50-yard line.
Looks like he may have even crossed midfield there.
Just barely. Second down and 7 here for Crown Point.
And Crown Point really has a lot of options here on this offense. We've seen them go for the passes, which has been very successful this game, and even their run game has been dominating the field.
So we approach the 10-minute mark here. And if Crown Point comes away with a touchdown, you could easily write this game off as a done game, but LC's defense has been able to keep it close this entire game. Just that bend, don't break strategy here for the Indians, as 3rd down and 3 coming up now for Crown Point. Looking like they're in 4-down territory. Crown Point comes out in the shotgun. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, single halfback. And flags come flying in. I think that's going to be a false start on Crown Point as the whole offense is heading back. Now Crown Point going to be faced with a 3rd and 8 here.
And as we were saying earlier, Crown Point's offense has not really been able to take it home when they've been in a clutch situation. So let's hope that LC can get a big stop here and maybe get something going on the offense.
I mean, really neither offense has been able to get anything going here tonight. Crown Point had that one drive, really, and then they've been stalled ever since.
But I mean, that just goes to show how good this Lake Central defense has been doing.
As Felix Meeks wide open over the middle of the field. Petit throwing, tipped away there by Caleb Griffin. Came in at the last second to make the play on it. But Felix Meeks, it looked like he had the whole inside of the hash marks up the seams, all to himself there. And a Crown Point's going to bring on the punting unit here. Griffin and Ivy back there as return men.
And this could be the perfect opportunity for Lake Central getting this ball here. 9 minutes left to go in the half. And if they get a big run going here and maybe even get a touchdown, that could be the game.
That's a big punt there. But Griffin's going to bounce it out past the 20, out past the 30, and finally gets knocked down on his own sideline there. So that's some nice field position there for the Indians. Marked down at the 34-yard line. 8:53 remains in this ball game. Now Sedano, this really falls on him now, coming up in crunch time. Crown Point knows LC wants to run the ball, and you know that if Crown Point's selling out to the run, Sedano should have all these wide receivers open, and he has had them, but he's just been unable to connect with them. Just the slight overthrows and all that have really just taken a toll on this Indians team. As Garcia bouncing out, gets away from one, out past the 40.
And I really think that Lake Central is going to be trying to hand it to their main man here, Sir Felix Garcia, as last game he was the star of the show with 3 touchdowns, and I think that they're looking for him to come out big in these last 8 minutes.
As Gills, single receiver at the top of your screen, matched up against number 6 for Crown Point, Caden Carr. That's a linebacker. And fumble on the play there. Read option gone wrong as Garcia didn't take it. Neither did Sedano, and that ball hit the ground, but luckily Sedano was able to hop on top of it. Only a loss of 2 for the Indians.
But that can be a big momentum killer, as it looked like coming off the quick run there, maybe they would get another quick run and get that first down, but now the ball sits 5 yards away from that first down marker.
Absolutely, and the clock keeps ticking. Both teams still with 3 timeouts remaining. This is a critical down here for Lake Central. Sedano looking. Sarbieski drops the ball. And the case of Butterfingers continues for this Indians wide receiver core.
And I think in this situation, if I was coaching Lake Central, I would even go for it here, because there's 7 minutes left, and really, if you don't go for it here and try and get something going, I don't think you're going to get much else going later.
Well, bad news for you, Coach. Punt team came out. And get ready for Sedano to boot this one away here. Nice high kick there, and this is going to take a beautiful bounce for the Indians inside the 5. Down at the 1. That's going to be right on the goal line there. That was probably the greatest punt you could ever ask for. As the tip of the ball is going to be right on that line. Crown Point not going to have any room to work with here.
And if the defense can come out big, like they've done all game here, and maybe get a safety here, that could be huge and turn the tide of this game. Because if they get a safety and then just come right back down for a field goal, that would lock up the game for them.
Absolutely, and Crown Point's really got to be careful not to, if they do have to drop back and pass, not to run out of their own end zone, as we've seen Petit go running with it a bit here. Just, trying to buy some more time, and he doesn't really have a whole lot of room to work with behind him. Lake Central stacks the box here, expecting the run, as it is a run, and Matthew Walters is going to take it all the way. 99 yards there for Matthew Walters, and feel like that's the dagger here already, and that might be one of the longest touchdowns we're going to see here, as that punt was literally the most perfect punt. That is all the field he has to cover, and not a good look for the Indians defense.
Absolutely unbelievable letdown here. I'm not going to lie.
That was about 99 yards and 2 feet of a run.
Yeah. Can't sugarcoat that one.
That was
unbelievable.
You said you can't sugarcoat it. That was awful run D by the Indians. You have to expect a run. And they just left a gap right there. I get it. You're trying to go for the safety, but the safety doesn't give you the win. Playing that solid defense gives you the win, not giving up a touchdown. And unfortunately for the Indians, it's a 2-score game here. And now it's a passing game here for the Indians that they're going to have to look for. Get some quick scores. Because I don't think Crown Point's going to let us do what Matthew Walters just did to us. Crown Point getting ready to kick off here. Fielded there by Sir Felix Garcia, who gets knocked up at around the 27-yard line. So after the game was tight for the literally until that big run, you could just feel the energy sucked out of the stadium here.
The only word that I can use is unbelievable to describe that.
Sedano hands it off there to Garcia, who gets not a whole lot there.
And I think at this point in the game, you just keep feeding Garcia. I mean, we've seen them go for the passing game, and it just really has not been working out for them. Sedano has just not been connecting these passes with where they need to be, and the receivers have had butterfingers all night tonight. And I think your only reliable option here is to go for Garcia, and even if we see Kreisbaum come out here.
As Crown Point with the roller coaster celebration there, as the LC fan section is on mute currently. Garcia again gets nothing there. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 here. As the clock keeps ticking, we are past the midway point of the 4th quarter. And, you know, the Indians, you feel like they almost have to go for a pass here. They got nothing to lose right now. They're down 2 scores. They need a quick score after they've been held out of the end zone. And timeout LC.
And even if they get stopped up here, I would be very disappointed to see them not go for a 4th down play.
You almost have to go for a 4th down play here. I mean, it's a 10-point game, 2 scores. You need a touchdown and a field goal at the very least to send it to overtime, and you haven't scored the entire game. What makes you think you're going to score 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game?
But I think if they do score here and get a touchdown, I think that they should go for the 2-point conversion.
Absolutely. That'll then, you know, set it up for the win. But as it looks right now, LC not looking in the best position to win.
Hopefully we can at least see them put some points on the board before the end of this game, though.
Absolutely. As Sedano and the Indians offense come out in pistol formation here. Handoff to Garcia, who gets bottled up there. Nothing to go. Crown Point had to have been expecting that. And 4th down and 2 now. Indians offense is going to stay out on the field. Now, if I'm Coach Bart, I'm calling a read option, and I'm having Sedano keep it. You know, Crown Point's really selling out to Sir Felix Garcia here. And we've seen Sedano be able to pick up a couple, you know, nice chunky yardage on a couple of the read options he's kept here. Sedano, play action pass rolling out, and picks up the 1st down, and then nice couple more yards there. And he also gets out of bounds, which will stop the clock at 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
We gain 5 yards on the play and enough for an LC touchdown.
And Sedano, we really have not seen his athleticism that much here today. You know, we've talked about his arm a lot with all the missed throws that he's had. There's just a slight overthrow. But it's been a persistent problem this game. But Sedano's definitely got to work on, you know, getting out there with his athleticism, keeping the plays alive.
Clock is still ticking down with about 4.5 minutes left in this game.
2nd down and 6 here. Lake Central still on their own 44-yard line, not even across the 50-yard line yet. And still running the ball.
Two receivers out to the far side, right side of the formation, that's left.
And Sedano
Looks like
looking,
pressure.
running, throwing and throws it away to the sidelines. And Sedano took a hit there, able to get back up. But Indians now faced with the 3rd down and 6. You know, throwing it away towards the sideline is definitely better than getting sacked. But, you know, this is not the outcome that LC fans here have wanted. Student section definitely has thinned out.
Incomplete pass stops the clock at 4:02, 36 for Lake Central. From their own 44, trailing by 10 late.
Student section looking a fraction of its size here.
Gain 1 yard on the play. 4th and 5 for Lake Central. From their own 45-yard line.
So Lake Central, no choice, going for it. 4th and 5, 3.5 minutes remaining.
Sedano takes a snap. Heavy pressure there. Screen pass to Garcia. Garcia able to stay on his feet there, fighting for yards. Gets out past the 50 and past the 35-yard line there. Garcia just doing a great job there of staying up on his feet. So there's an injured Crown Point player out on the field now, out by the Indian sideline.
While he's down, let's take a time out. 3:17 remains, 10-0 Crown Point. You're listening and watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. The game of time.
Not too sure who that is out there, but we've got both Crown Point trainers and Lake Central trainers looking. And he's able to get up and walk off under his own power. That was Chris Bartholomew, number 13, the tight end there. As Indians offense takes the field now.
Game Night in the Region. We're back.
Number 20, Ricky Guerrero subbing in at fullback here for the Indians.
First and 10 for Lake Central.
Going to line up as a tight end.
They need to score quickly. 3:17 remaining.
Sedano with a quick screen pass there to Ryan Mayton, who
And that's Ryan
is able to get out of bounds, it appears. Stops the clock at 3:13.
And it looks like the Lake Central offense is actually looking up towards the tapering end of this last part of the game.
Absolutely, but question is it too little too late here for the Indians offense? And, you know, it's too early to say yes or no, but we can all make predictions. As Garcia able to bounce it there, but not sure if that was a read option or a, you know, scripted handoff, but Sedano had a lot of green on that side of the field by him. Pretty much the entire Crown Point defense was going towards Sir Felix Garcia's side of the field, and, you know, I feel like Sedano definitely could have picked up a couple more yards there. 3rd down and 4 now for the Indians. Crown Point up 10, Lake Central 0. As we are approaching the 2-minute mark of the 4th quarter, final quarter of the game. Sedano to Gills as they connect there. That's going to be good enough for a first down.
Quite possibly the first complete pass from Sedano to Gills this game.
Yeah, Lake Central offense definitely does seem to be clicking here as of late. So we've got Lake Central's kicker warming up on the sidelines. And Garcia not going to get a whole lot there. And Lake Central spends a timeout, giving them one timeout here with 2:04 left in the game. Now, Lake Central, they're moving way too slow here. You know, you can't, I get it, you don't want Crown Point to have the chance to score again, but you need a chance to score again. And with moving it all just this slow, that's not really helping anyone. As Sedano comes out now. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back in the pistol formation here. Mayton and Nichol at the top of your screen bunched together. Curtis Gills at the bottom. Sedano looking to throw. Overthrows Curtis Gills there. And bringing up the 3rd down and 7 now.
I think that was a very interesting throw by Sedano because Gills did not look like he was open or getting open anytime soon back there in the end zone, as there were 2 guys on him throughout the entire play. So I don't know if he's just looking to get any points on the board at this point, or if that was just a misread by him.
And incomplete again. 4th down and 7 coming up now. Minute 53 remaining.
4th and 7 for Lake Central from the Crown Point 17-yard line.
As the Lake Central fan section clearing out here. Derek Baldwin comes out now for the kick. He had 1 kick blocked today. Kick is up and it's going to be short. Not sure if that one was tipped or just a bad hold maybe, but Baldwin 0 for 2 on kicks today. And, you know, as if that 99-yard touchdown run wasn't a dagger enough, just a little more salt in the wounds here as Baldwin now missing the 2 scoring opportunities.
$1:49 left to go in this game. Coming up on 1st and 10 for Crown Point.
Now, Lake Central looking at a 2-2 record on the season. Same with Crown Point as flags fly from everywhere. Looking like it's going to be a false start. And Walters gets taken down there.
Looks like about a gain of 6 coming up on 2nd and 9 for the Crown Point Bulldogs.
Second down and 8 coming up. Clock keeps ticking away. Clock is not the Indians' friend. And Crown Point now just kind of playing keep away with the ball, as this will wrap up this game here. Just a reminder to anyone who signed up for the September 14th ACT test. That is tomorrow. Not sure how many of our viewers have done that. And Lake Central calls timeout here with 59 seconds left on the clock. Now, Simon, I feel like the chances of Lake Central getting the win here are very, very, very slim.
Slim to none. I really don't see why they would call the timeout there.
Absolutely. I don't see that either.
Maybe to get together and pray for a miracle.
Miracle on Wicker Avenue. It is a 2-point score or 2-score game here, so Lake Central would need a field goal or touchdown, and they then would need to recover the onside kick and do it all over again.
Clock is stopped at 50 seconds.
As Crown Point picks up the first down.
And looks like the game clock continues.
And Crown Point now will get their 4th straight win against Lake Central.
Victory formation as Bennett takes a knee.
As Crown Point takes the knee here.
They will not have to run another play. That will do it.
Clock keeps ticking, ticking away. That's going to do it here for Lake Central and Crown Point.
Touchdown in the fourth quarter.
And only touchdown came late in the fourth quarter. Now, if you're Lake Central, Simon, got to use this game as a lesson. You know, work on the offense. We will be back here again in 2 weeks against Michigan City for Lake Central's homecoming game. Look forward to seeing you all there. My name is Josh Burnett. Alongside me tonight has been Simon Culp. And we are signing out. Have a nice night, everybody.